What's up, everybody?
Hey, how you doing?
Good?
Good. Hey, Ryan. David Moore, Dallas Morning News. You're moving the ball and doing some good things last night, and then you did have another red zone turnover, your only turnover of the game. I think you stepped back. That's 7 for the year. Can you talk about what happened on that play, and has there been a common denominator when you look at these in the red zone? Has it been more protection issues, route issues, or how is it?
Yeah, it's been different. I'll talk about the play in general. Well, first of all, we had a shift and we didn't execute the shift. So no matter whether the play scored a touchdown or not, it's coming back. And that's just communication amongst our guys. When Fergie goes over, somebody's got to step on, make the formation legal. So it starts with that. And then we're trying to run a little slant route with CD, and the corner's kind of trying to bail, and he's trying to set his angle, and there's contact with the guy running to actually cover Fergie on the flat. And so Coop's trying to throw it into the window, and obviously CD gets kind of picked off, knocked off, if you will, and the ball hits the corner, and the safety's running over that way. And one of those situations where you really want to kind of trust it to throw it to the window, not anticipating that CD's going to run into the safety. There's contact, and, again, it's just ball bounces the wrong way. But the pre-snap stuff is really more the thing that you get disappointed in, because let's say we do hit the touchdown to CD there. Again, doesn't count, comes back. So, again, consistency. Consistency, the little things, not just the execution, but we know how to shift. We know how to motion, but we didn't in that case.
Clarence Hill, Los City, Dallas. Can you talk about the emergence of Rico the last couple of weeks and what has been the difference for him? And did you wish you could have gotten more carries?
Yeah, again, I think, you look at the game, and I think the time of possession was, not where we wanted to be. We knew this was a game we were going to want to be able to stay on the field for 30-plus minutes. We didn't do that. It was 26. Actually, the third and fourth quarter was like a tale of two, quarters. It was heavy for us in the third, and in the fourth we didn't have as many ops. But the thing about Rico, again, is there's a confidence right now with the way he's running. When you get attempts and you get the bulk of the carries, there's a confidence, there's a feel, there's a vision. You set things up, and I think that's a big part of where he's at right now. We've talked a lot about his run style and the way he is a punishing runner. I think you see that. I think you see guys in the secondary, when they see him coming and running behind his pads, they don't really look forward to taking him on. They're going to try to go down low. And his yards after contact over the last couple of weeks have been very impressive, and that's because of his pad level. I think the offensive line has been doing a really good job with their combination blocks. We didn't think we'd be 9 or 10 deep into the amount of guys we've played up front, but I think you got to speak to the depth of our offensive line right now. I think TJ Bass, again, coming in just like he did against Washington and playing well. Brock moving over from guard to center, not missing a beat. I think the only guy we really haven't gotten in there yet is Wally. So Wally better be ready with the way that the story's being written right now. But and again, tight ends are involved in that as well. Receivers are involved in that. We ask our receivers to do a ton in the running game. So really pleased with the way we ran the football last night. And like you said, if we were a little bit better on third down, which we need to be better, hopefully that time of possession number is looking at really, you're over 30, which you want to keep that offense obviously off the field.
Brian Schottenheimer with ESPN, you've had experienced backs before that you knew what you were going to get out of them from the week one of the season. Rico's a guy that has not been in this role before. What did you think you were getting from him, and what have you learned about him during this process?
I think we've always known his run style was a power-based run style where he's kind of a slasher. I think the thing I'm most proud of Rico about is the consistency that he's been at over these last 4, 5, 6 games. I know I talked last week about the way he practices, the way he works, the way he preps. It's really impressive. He's on his stuff. He's in there. There's a durability thing with Rico that's really exciting to see. I mean, I think it was 8 or 9 plays in a row that he went yesterday, which is hard to do when you play the type of style and physicality that he plays with. Where a back can go that many plays, and again, he's learning to take care of his body. I remember talking to LaDainian, years ago in San Diego, and these guys that play running back in really all positions, but runners especially, man, and just hearing what they do on Monday after the game and Tuesday after the game, and then Wednesday they're still really sore and they're not done, but they're still doing things with their body and getting extra work. And I think that's a huge part of sustaining success, which Rico has done and needs to continue to do. So that's all part of maturing as a football player and being asked to do things that he's never done before.
What are those conversations that you have with him about taking care of his body and getting ready Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
Yeah, he's into it. He's here all the time. I think he's finding his routine. It's interesting because the routines do change over the course of a career. Like if you ask LaDainian what he did when he was young compared to what he did in year 10, 11, and 12, it does change. You find things that work better. Your diet changes a little bit like that. So I think he's still experimenting with different things, but it is a critical piece to playing running back in this league because of the pounding that these guys take. And truly their bodies don't bounce back, when you get into week, 13, 14, 15. It's hard to get, your body back that quick. And so I think he's very open to it, and he's starting to kind of find his flow.
He's not said anything like, I'm really sore.
No, I don't think so. No, he wouldn't tell us that right now anyways with as good as he's playing.
John Machado with The Athletic. You mentioned all the different offensive linemen have had to play. What is the toughest part about having to really not have that same five every Sunday?
That's a good question. There's subtleties in the run game. There's subtleties in the passing game. They're a little different. I'd say in the running game, it's the combination blocks, the fits. Because with everything you do, there's an inside piece and an outside piece, and there's a fit where how you're supposed to fit from shoulder to shoulder and climb, and when he comes off at different times. I think that's hard. Passing games, and pass protection is really hard. TEs, ETs, different things like that is difficult. There's almost a trust. Like, okay, I feel him coming inside. I know you need to be coming with me. I don't feel you. Okay, can I go? And that comes over time. I'd say those were probably the biggest thing that we see when maybe we get edged in a protection. Like yesterday, there was a run through, right? 57 shot the gap, and TJ was a little late getting to it. So 57 shot the gap, hit Rico for one of the few TFLs I think we had yesterday. And it was just, again, TJ not getting all the reps and other guys getting reps and him being in there, and guy kind of surprised him. The other thing would be communication. Just passing and, okay, hey, I'm talking to you and our call is this, but now I'm over playing center. Now I'm driving everything. There's a new guard. So what's his communication like between TJ to Terrence? And it sounds easy, and it should be easy, but when they're not doing it all the time together, it can be difficult. And I do think that, we work all the different pieces in a walkthrough, but it is a little different when it's out there ripping and roaring full speed.
Southeast of The Athletic. Ryan, behind CD, you guys didn't have a lot of production from the wide receivers. What needs to happen for Jalen, Jonathan, those guys to really get going? Yeah,
again, I think, you look at, CD and the type of player he is. He draws a lot of attention. I think it's good to have Brandon back. Again, awesome touchdown by him, on the opening drive. Again, I think it's just consistency. You're not only dealing with different pieces, you're dealing with getting Coop up to speed on them. This is going to be another challenge for us this week, and being a short week, there's only so many throws that we'll be able to get live. It won't be many. But again, I think it's just consistency. We're better than a 50% completion or whatever we were yesterday. That's not good enough. It's certainly not the standard. It's not just Coop. It's kind of landmarks and spacing and creating separation. There's a lot of things that go into that, but the best way to fix that is just continue to work. And guys got to win their matchups. We got to hit them when they're open. And again, we have not done that consistently, week in and week out.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. A follow up on that. Has that been a little frustrating with some of those younger receivers because you didn't have Cooks for a little bit, that you're trying to get a level of consistency with some of those younger guys? I
wouldn't say frustrating. I mean, again, these guys work their asses off, man. Like, you can't ask these guys to fight any more, than they do Calvin. I think use JT, for example. I mean, JT, he's made some big plays for us this year. He's running the crossing route yesterday, and the ball's kind of out in front. He wasn't able to pull it in. But, if you saw these guys shy away from that, then you'd be concerned. These guys don't shy away from it, man. They want to work. They're going to stay. They're going to get the extra reps after practice. And I think the cool thing, and what we take a lot of pride in as coaches, is training and talking about that extra work ethic, the time you have to spend to be great. It's hard to be great in this business. I mean, you watch the precision of Joe Burrow throwing to Jamar Chase yesterday. That's pretty impressive, and that's over what time, And so we have a short window of time each week to do that, but there's no excuses with that. We have to be better, and we know we're capable of more.
Yeah, Truma for the first time. How did he grade out? How did he look?
He did good. Tough matchup against 91. I think he did some really good plays. I think there was a couple times he overset where we had a little chip help, and 91 got him inside. But, Hendrickson's a great player, and I thought he held his own.
Nick Harris, Full Star Telegram. Have you ever been a part of a season like this with so many injuries on both sides of the ball?
I'm sure, and there's probably been similar years. This one, I think, with both sides of the ball and then the moving pieces is definitely one of the ones that I will say sticks out. And then the length of some of them. You know what I'm saying? Just sometimes, you always deal with injuries. The guy, he's out for a couple weeks, but seems like some of these have been going longer than what you would expect. And it truly is next man up, and I'm never going to sit up here and say the reason we're not winning games or playing well enough is injuries. I'm not saying that. We can be better. I can be better. The unit can be better. We can play better. We can block better. We can throw better. We can coach better. Injuries are part of the game, and the entire league looks at it. But it's kind of the hand we're dealt with right now, and we're getting some young players that probably weren't expecting a lot of reps and play time. They're getting a ton of experience, and there's positives in that.
What are the positives in that?
You find out about them. You find out, what type of ability they have, because there's going to be good plays and bad plays, and you find out their wiring. You can look in a guy's eye and see that, like looking at T.J. Bass the last couple games, man, he is dialed in, and he's ready to go, and he knows he belongs, and he can play at this level. So I think that's, you watch the tight ends getting better. It's the confidence of Scooney. You guys asked me 4, 5, 6 weeks ago the thing about Scooney. He wasn't consistent. Now the guy's up there working his ass off. He's in on Tuesdays of a short week. He's working, and you see that beginning to show up on game day. He's playing with more confidence. He's playing free, and so you don't find that out sometimes with young guys. And so, however they're asked to go in, whether it's injuries or you find a rotation for them, there's a lot that can be learned from them.
Tommy, to finish up with Josh.
Tommy Yarch, DallasCowboys.com. You mentioned Schoonmaker's confidence when you mix that with the fact that you get Jake back this week. And has that changed at all what you like in 12 personnel, maybe some play calls that you wouldn't have made earlier in the season when Schoonmaker maybe wasn't as consistent?
Yeah, I think, we feel really good about the tight end room. We've been carrying 4, really, because, now Fergie's back. That certainly helps. Terrific player. Scooney with the growth and the confidence. People don't talk about Brev enough. Brev is a very physical, long-levered, excellent football player. Like, this guy's going to be a really good player. He's big, he's strong, he's physical. He's a big target for the QBs. And then we've been carrying Princeton Fant as well as more of a backup for us, playing a bunch on special teams. But it's a really good young group. And, again, when you get those guys and you're able to do some stuff, whether it's run, pass, spread people out, do different things, it makes it harder on the defense. So the answer to your question is yes.
Brian, Josh Tolentino on Lone Star Live. You noted the injuries, and I know you don't supervise this player, but as your guys go up against the scout team throughout the year, have you noticed anything about Maris Leofau and what he brings to the table?
Yeah, I think from the first time he walked in the building, I of course knew who he was, but I didn't know much about him. The work ethic jumped off the film, the attention to detail on the practice field. So I'm not I don't get a lot of chances to work out until after practice. I'll go in and try to steal 5 or 10 minutes to keep my wife off my ass. So, honey, I did work out. But literally the kid would walk in right after practice, and there's a big heavy bag that sits there, like boxers use. And he'd sit there for 5, 8, 10 minutes, and he would just work on shedding blocks. And he'd step and he'd shoot his hands. And, again, it's one of the things as a coach, you're sitting there working out and you're talking to the guys, you're checking in, and you just hear the bag getting hit, bang, bang, bang. 10 minutes later, bang, bang. And it just shows you, like, he gets it, and you can't have enough guys like that, man.
All right.
Good deal. Thanks, guys.